Welcome to the Real Estate Scripts Podcast, the show that helps you know what to say when you're talking to buyers and sellers so that you can close more deals and earn more money. I'm Darren Tunstall, a real estate professional, coach, and #1 best-selling author. Let's get into this. Hey, welcome back to the Real Estate Scripts Podcast. In our latest episode, we're diving into the art of negotiating a counteroffer. As the listing agent, imagine you've received an offer that's not quite there for your seller. We'll cover how to start the conversation with the buyer's agent, express gratitude for their offer, and create a counteroffer that adjusts the price and terms. It's all about knowing the property, your seller's wishes, and the buyer's offer, while bringing your negotiating skills to the forefront. Let's go ahead and get started. As a reminder, the purpose of Scripts and Dialogues is to come, learn, practice, and be prepared to fail forward. This is where we make mistakes and help each other out, but we're mostly interested in seeing how we can get better. First, we read through the script word for word, and then we go back and put it into our own natural tone, style, and phrasing. You won't know what to say until you go through the script. So with that said, many people will say, that's not how I sound. And I totally get it. That's not how you sound. But that is the reason why we practice every day, so that the script becomes you and in your own voice. So read it word for word first, then go back and put it into your own natural tone, style, and phrasing. And I think it'll work out. Before we get started, I wanted to mention to you on September 29th, starting a book club at 7:45 in the morning, reviewing the book John C. Maxwell, The 16 Undeniable Laws of Communication. It will be on Friday, September 29th. This is the book. There's also an Audible version too. We'll be going through that for the whole month. Essentially, it's 4 chapters a week, and then we'll be done with it and then on to the next book. So you're all welcome to that. And anybody who's listening wants to come, just reach out to me and we'll get it started. So let's go ahead and jump into this. So in this scenario, you are making a counteroffer as the listing agent. You initiate the conversation by expressing gratitude for the offer received, despite it falling below the seller's expectation. They will propose a counteroffer that includes a revised price and addresses specific terms for modification. Requirements are knowledge of the property being sold, understanding of the seller's desired term and price range, familiarity with the buyer's offers and proposed terms, and strong negotiation and communication skills. The intention of this script is to call the buyer's agent and let them know that your client will be submitting a counter offer. So that is the script. And whenever the two of you are ready, go for it.
Okay. Hi, Emily. This is Luda Phipps with Keller Williams Realty. I hope you're doing well. I want to talk to you about the offer you presented. Really appreciate your efforts and the time you put into it. However, I want to let you know that the offer came in quite a bit lower than what the seller has hoped for.
Oh, okay. Well, thanks for letting me know. What can we do? Because my buyer likes the house, but they felt it was a little overpriced and they really didn't want to go, over ask.
I appreciate your understanding. Okay, I appreciate your understanding, Emily. We've taken the time to carefully consider the offer to come up with a fair and balanced counteroffer. We're countering back at $1 million. Regarding the other terms in the offer, they seem fine except for term at 1 clearance that we need to address. What are your thoughts on this counteroffer?
Well, send it over and I'll give it to them. It's I'll discuss it with them and see what they want to do. I think that's fair because I know the offer went in a little low, and I told them we might want to go a little higher, but they're pretty, stuck to what they wanted to do. But, send over your counter and I'll discuss it with them and tell them if they really want the house and, we need to move forward.
Okay, perfect. Our goal is to reach a mutually beneficial agreement. By accepting this counteroffer, your client will have the opportunity to purchase a property within the market value range. While the seller will achieve a reasonable price for their home, it's a win-win situation that paves the way for a smooth and successful closing.
I totally agree. That it needs to be a win-win, and we can both be done with this transaction. It's been really nice working with you, though.
Thank you, Emily. I'm here to provide any necessary information and address any concerns your clients may have. Feel free to contact me for additional information. Let's work together to find a solution that works for everyone.
I totally agree.
Perfect. I look forward to hearing back from you and hopefully reaching out an agreement that satisfies both parties.
Okay.
You know what? You know what? I'm gonna bring everybody back real quick because I did not set this up right. I want to make sure that everybody gets a chance to understand what this script is all about. Hey, everybody, I'm sorry. I just wanted to bring you all back because I didn't set this up properly. And I want to make sure that everybody understands that this is an agent to agent conversation. So, I got caught up in doing a couple of things, but um, so I wanted to bring you back real quick. So these are the types of conversations that we have to have occasionally. It's not always agent to buyer or agent to seller. It's agent to agent to vendor, agent to escrow officer, agent to broker. There's many different scenarios that can take place. So I really wanted to bring you all back, explain that this is an agent to agent conversation. Did you guys have a chance to set the stage, read the requirements and the intention before you got started?
No, but we did fine, but it was agent to buyer.
Okay.
I mean to
Then
seller.
then let me set the stage. Let's do this properly. Then I'll break you out and then we'll go around. It's a fairly short script, so we have a little bit of time here.
Okay.
I'll read it again. So in this scenario, you are making a counter offer. As the listing agent, you initiate the conversation by expressing gratitude for the offer received. Despite it falling below the seller's expectations, they will propose a counter offer that includes a revised price and addresses specific terms and modifications. The requirements are knowledge of the property being sold, understanding of the seller's desired terms and price range, familiarity with the buyer's offers and proposed terms, and strong negotiation and communication skills. The intention of this script is to call the buyer's agent and let them know that your clients will be submitting a counter offer. So I just want to make sure that that is clear, that you understand one of you is the buyer agents, one of you is the seller's agent, and now both of you are going to have that conversation. Because, and you'll hear your broker say this multiple times, call the agent, call the agent, call the agent. And when you're doing a counter, you should be contacting the agent because that's your job. Your job is to do the negotiations. And that's this section. This particular week is seller offers and negotiations. Today that's what it's about, and this is what this script is about. So I will re-break us out, and then we can practice with that perspective. Any questions about that before I do, though?
No.
Okay, great. Sorry, but here we go. Cool. All right, so let's reverse roles and have the two of you pick up where you left off. So I think who was the listing agent was
I was the listing agent.
okay. All right, cool.
Hi, Luda. This is Emily with Keller Williams Realty. How are you today?
I'm doing great, Emily.
Hey, I did submit that offer, and then I see that you sent we are sending oh boy, did I screw that up. Okay. Hi,
You're doing
Luda.
good.
This is Emily with Keller Williams. How are you today?
I'm doing great, Emily.
Hey, I wanted to talk to you about the offer you presented. I really appreciate it, and I appreciate your efforts and the time you put into it. However, I wanted to let you know that the offer came in quite a bit lower than what my seller had hoped for.
Well, I appreciate the call, Emily. What is your seller looking for?
Well, I appreciate you understanding. They're just looking for a little bit of a higher price at the end of the day. We've taken the time to carefully consider the offer and some other offers, and we've come up with a fair and balanced counteroffer. We believe we're countering back at 1.1 million. Regarding the other terms and your offer, they seem fine except for the request for the credits for the flooring. What are your thoughts on this on the counteroffer?
It's something I could definitely present to the buyer, but coming in at a higher price offer and not offering any kind of credit, that might be a little tough.
Yeah. Well, our goal is to reach a mutually beneficial agreement. By accepting this offer, your client will have the opportunity to purchase a property within market value range, while the seller will achieve a reasonable price for the home. And I think it's a win-win situation that kind of paves the way for a smooth and successful closing.
Oh, definitely. I hope it is a win-win situation. I'm happy to present the counter offer to the buyer and provide some feedback.
Okay, I appreciate that. I'm here to provide any necessary information or address any concerns your client may have. Feel free to contact me for any additional information. Let's try and work together to find a solution that works for both our clients and, everyone involved.
Sounds good.
All right, I look forward to hearing from you and hopefully reaching an agreement that satisfies our clients.
Thank you, Emily. Have a great day.
You too.
All right. How'd that go?
I think
A little birdie for me.
All right. Let's do it again. This time, no script, in your own voice. You're just having a conversation. Here's what we're going to do and see how that goes.
Okay. Emily, you want to do it again?
No, you go, and then I'll go.
Thanks, Emily. All right. Hi, Emily.
Tongue-tied. Hi. How are
It's
you?
Luda Phipps. Good. Hey, I just want to say we received your offer, your client's offer and your offer on our property in La Jolla. I just want to say thank you. However, we are going to be countering just your offer, and we're hoping that the buyer agrees to the terms.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
So we are counter just a little bit higher. It did come in just a little bit lower than what the seller was expecting. Instead of at the $1 million, we're going to come in at $1,050,000. And then regarding the Section 1 termite clearance request, if it's okay with you, I'd like to keep that off for right now. And then when we do the inspection, we can kind of go back to the drawing board a little bit.
Okay, well, definitely present the offer to my clients. We'll see what they say. And hopefully we can get this done.
Perfect. I should have the counter offer to you by the end of the day.
Excellent. I'll let them know it's coming.
Thank you, Emily.
Okay.
Oh, awesome.
Hi, Luda. This is Emily from Keller Williams. How are you doing today?
Great, Emily. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. Hey, I received your offer for the house at 123 Main Street. We are going to be sending a counter offer. It's not exactly what my seller was looking for. We did get a few other offers as well, but they want to counter yours and just come in a little bit higher. And they do not want to go forward with any kind of credits.
Okay. I could definitely present it to the buyer, coming a little bit higher with no credits. I mean, they were really looking forward to those credits.
Yeah, I know it's tough right now with the rates, and a lot of people are asking for the buy down credits, but they're just not willing to budge on that. I don't know. They think it's not their fault that the rates are high, and they just, feel like that's where they want to go. So I'm going to send over the counter offer, and you let me know how your clients feel.
Okay, I definitely will provide feedback right away once I have a chance to review it with them.
Okay, perfect. Thanks, Luda.
Thank you for the phone call, Emily.
That was too fast. You know what that means? You're comfortable.
Oh,
I'm gonna say, short and sweet.
No, I think and that was a compliment. Both of you did amazing. And in going off script and just having a genuine conversation was so much more seamless than yeah, exactly. It was so much more seamless than reading a script. But again, we used the script as a guide, and here we are. So how else?
I think it's good.
Yeah. Is there anything else that we should be incorporating into this?
Into the script?
Yeah. or in the conversation in general when you're having that agent to agent conversation.
I think with the agent to agent, I like to think that everybody is professional and nice. I think that's the easy part for me. Like if I was to call Emily, I would show her the same respect as I would want the respect. We have to put our feelings aside and, and think about our client. We're here to really help the client.
Right.
So I think that's why maybe it was a little bit easier because we have that mutual professional understanding.
True. You're not always going to get that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Would
true.
you say all agents operate on the same level in terms of their professionalism?
I definitely do not. I've come across, but I keep my professional when they're not professional too. It's just how you want to conduct your business, but definitely not. I've come across some not very nice agents.
That's a good point. You keep your professionalism,
That's
which
all you can
means
do. You can't control how anyone else is going to behave.
You can't control how they're going to behave, but what we can do is have control by asking questions. And because those who are asking questions are the ones that are in control of the conversation. And if you find that they're just going to lead you down a rabbit hole, or they're not or as professional, maybe they might be a little inexperienced and you have to lead them a little bit, leading with that professionalism helps the conversation move along. So I think that's a great point, is I'm going to stay professional. It's a good point.
Well, just like you talked about having a bad day and somebody cuts you off in traffic, are you going to go after them and cut them off, or are you just going to keep going on your way safely to your destination?
True.
Right?
True.
Same thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And some
That's a good
people will
point.
definitely go out of their way, right? And cut you off and do the same back.
Yep.
And it's just us have to choose to consciously say, you know what? I'm going to live on my higher self, and I'm going to lead this into a very professional way. So absolutely.
That's a good point.
Yep. How'd it go for you guys, Debbie, Nathan, Jaman?
Really good. Really
Was good.
good.
Fun.
I was going to just make a comment. We went back to the breakout, the main screen, but Nathan was talking about asking more questions. And I started to say we do have a lot of scripts and dialogues that have tie down questions, so that it's not a yes or a no, and some that, what to ask so that you do get more feedback. So.
But those questions should have been asked before you guys even submitted that offer. You should have called the agent to gather as much as we can.
Yeah, but even in all I was suggesting was, and this script is set up a certain way, but all I was suggesting was that even with a counteroffer, if the seller's agent is calling you, it means they have some level of interest in potentially working with you. And right. So I was just saying, just suggesting in particular for Jaman, this is a great opportunity to just ask more questions, probe, and really determine the kind of negotiator that you're really working with. I feel like before you submit an offer, it's a little bit like dating, and once you submit the offer, you're still in that kind of dating phase where it's getting serious. But it's like the time to really ask those hard questions in a really gentle, nice, kind way to kind of guide that conversation where you want it to go. Because they're trying to do what's best for their client, and I'm trying to gauge, are the other offers that they have legitimate? Are they actual offers? Is he bluffing? Are they fluffing up the numbers from the other offers? And obviously I want to get my client the best deal that I possibly can for them while still getting an offer accepted, which is hard enough to do. And so I was just saying that asking more questions, even if it's not necessarily in this script, that counteroffer conversation is a really great place to ask a lot of those questions and plant ideas, like put bugs in the ear of what could we do to make this a win-win. If raising the price that's not the only way to get it done, right? So anyways, that's all I'm suggesting.
That makes sense.
That's a really good point. Let me ask a follow-up question to that. When is another time to ask great questions to find out more about the deal before we get to, because the offer has been made. We're in it now, right? And now we have our counter. So when is another time to ask those questions?
Right before you submit the offer.
That's right.
For sure.
You got to want to talk to them and see what, not their motivations, but just see where they're at.
Yeah.
That's right. And what kind of
who you're
questions
working with? Like he said, that's a great time to gauge who's on the other side and who you're negotiating with.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Sure.
And what kind of questions should we be asking before we submit that offer?
What's important to your
Have
client?
there been multiple offers? Do you have any offers?
Closing timelines, inspection contingencies. What's important to your client?
Right.
Do they need my firstborn kid? Okay.
A lot of times you can call and say, hey, look, here's the deal. My clients really love this home. We want to make an offer. The question is, we want to either get it accepted or countered. We don't want it rejected or not even acknowledged. So what can we do right now to submit a strong offer so that it's either one of those two?
My concern is when I say we're open to counter, that means we're open to me. It's me telling the agent, hey, we're open to go up higher or changing the things we're not sending behind our offer. That's my only concern saying that.
Then we want to get an accepted offer. What can we do to make this the strongest offer that you're going to receive today?
Right.
Cash.
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 And then you shut up and you let them talk, right?
See where
when
they
we
go.
ask those questions up front, they're not supposed to tell you, like when we ask the question, how much are you at? Did you get asking? They're not supposed to tell you the exact range, right? Or price that or offer that they received so far,
Right.
if they've received any. But
Right.
is it above? Is it a little bit below? Should we come in just above? What are your thoughts on this and that? There's multiple types of questions, and Nathan brings up a really good point. It's not just about the offer itself. It's about the personality of the person that you're going to be negotiating with once you're in the deal.
Right.
Because once you understand that person, then you're going to know how to, and we talked about it a little bit earlier with Debbie and Luda and I, is those people who are asking the questions are the ones who are in control of the conversation. So when you ask questions up front, and then when you ask questions during the transaction, like in this particular case, we're fact finding. And I know there's multiple types of questions. We've often talked in the past where, open-ended questions are the best. Who, what, when, why, where, and how. Yes or no are not always out of the equation. We want to ask yes and no questions strategically here and there because we're trying to get to a certain point. But when you're fact finding, you have to ask open-ended questions. And when you need a definite yes or no, we ask yes or no questions. So,
well, like when I called the listing agent on this place, they didn't have any offers. So mine was going to be the first, but he said a lot of people have viewed the property and none of them have made an offer. So I'm telling my sellers, each one of those people, they have to think of it as it's a rejection. If they're not even going to make an offer, they don't want it because it needed updating, right? So I thought that was telling as well. When he came back with that information for me, a lot of people have looked at it, but no one's made an offer.
Yeah. And that tells you a lot too, when there's no engagement or action taken either.
So when you ask that question, are the counter offers, are they higher or lower? Will you get a response on that? Like, will they kind of let you know if you're coming in lower or higher or what? Or is that a tricky question? Will you know?
They're not supposed to get too detailed, but
right.
They could say we've had over list price offers, something like that.
Right, got you.
Unless they have
I've had
specific
people say
authorization.
we're at 30 over ask right now.
See, and they're
Oh.
not supposed to do that.
Well,
Wow.
unless their client's given them permission to, right?
Yes, unless the client gives them permission. Unless,
Yeah.
Right.
So if
Yeah.
your client's giving you permission to share specific dollar amounts, then go for it. If you feel like that's a good negotiating tactic in that moment, you use it, but only with permission of the seller.
Right. Got it.
And
And
to
that's-
to me, that kind of seems unfair because so say the listing agent said, "Oh yeah, we've had 30 over," and then the other one puts 31 over. It almost seems like
Right.
that's not a good practice, I don't
right,
know.
but it's just not about the price though. You guys know, right? In offers has to do with also the terms
Right.
and everything else. It's not always about the price. So
Right.
somebody can come in 31 over, but if their contingency, so I can't talk, are horrible, doesn't mean they're going to win it if somebody comes
Right.
in.
Right.
Yeah, I'm in negotiation right now for a deal that's about 25 grand under asking. They have an offer that's over asking, but our terms are better.
Yep.
And the specific situation that this seller is in, they're leaning towards our offer. They haven't accepted it. We're still in discussions, but you're 100% right. It's the terms matter. Now, if they get another offer with terms as good as or better than ours with a higher price point, they will probably take that.
Right.
But you're absolutely right. The
Terms matter.
Terms definitely matter, and they come in all different shapes and sizes. I mean, one example that comes to mind is what if one or the other decides to pay, or what if the buyer decides to pay all the commission? So that's that happens here and there too. So you might be 25, 30 under asking, but if the buyer says we're going to pay the commission on that, then okay, so you have to do some math. You can't just say, wow, that's it's so low. But
Right.
Is it really? You're actually getting the same amount of money, if not even more, depending on, again, the terms.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
and
So
also, you know how I don't know if it's still the same percentages, but they were saying last year that there were, of the homes sold, 71% were all cash offers. And that's why the first time buyer or, one's not, putting down, the whole thing. That's why it kept throwing all, people that want to put 20% or 10% or 5% out of running because of the all cash offers. Of course, the
Right.
seller's going to go, yeah, that's great. Sure. So,
right. So we need to wrap this up, but just want to point out that a lot of these different scenarios that we're talking about in negotiations, you can also use these as talking points with your clients too. So, setting them up, preparing the seller, like here's what's going to happen. When we go in to make an offer or when we are looking at receiving offers, we can look at multiple things like this. It's just all going to depend on how the offer is submitted and what the terms are like. So just because it's the highest doesn't necessarily mean it's the best. It's the strongest offer that we have to look at, and strong incorporates everything that we talked about and as part of that equation. So is there anything else
Awesome.
anybody wants to add before we end this today?
This is good. Thank you.
Cool. All right. Well, you all are amazing, and I think you all know that. Thank you.
You're amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. Bye.
Thank you.
All right.
bye.
Bye. See ya. All right, so that's the script. I hope that you found it very useful. To download the script, just go ahead and head over to realestatescriptspodcast.com. There'll be a link there for you to download the script. This podcast is for the purpose of education only, and it does not make any guarantees. We suggest you seek out the help of your broker, coach, or mentor for specific situations. Brought to you by Darren Tunstall at Repros, California DRE number 018534445.